Hello YouTube vintage stereo restorers and Heathkit appreciators. Here's the back end of the Heathkit AJ-43, and I'm working in the garage, so you probably hear some cars going by. I literally have stereo stuff, radio stuff in almost every room in the house these days. It's the way it goes. I did some testing on this yesterday, powered it up in the other video that I did, and it was dead. So I took the cover off, and the top of this coil, which looks like that coil, rolled out, snapped right off here. And as my heart sank, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. And of course this antenna was broken. This belongs to a friend of mine, and this is how it arrived. It was kind of unfortunate because it spoils the unit, but sometimes you just got to get it into gear and get stuff fixed. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a series of 2 into 1. I found, luckily, a parts unit of one of these tuners. Backboard has all the coils in place, so between the two we will end up with a backboard and coils that work, and recap it, and then go through the rest of the unit, which is actually pretty simple. If you look at what's inside of it, it's mostly open space. But sometimes when you're faced like something like this, it could shelve a unit for a long time. It's also the kind of thing that could turn it into a parts unit. But many times I've had, and I find this, I do Japanese cameras, Pentaxes, Nikons, that kind of stuff, the vintage ones. And sometimes I've done that as well. I've had 2 or 3 parts cameras in order to get everything working, especially when there are shutter problems. But today, I'm going to tell you, here's a remedy for when you're looking at something going, I don't even know if I can fix this. It seems daunting. And I hear this from people all the time. I got into this thing and it's overwhelming. It's true. Alright, then start off with something that you can fix, something that you can make better. This antenna was broken off. Why? Well, a little bit of rough handling, and then these are dried out. These plastic clips that are onto a wood type of doweling. But there's a pretty easy fix. I've already done one just to demonstrate. So there's what it would have actually looked like when it was new. It would have been clear, it would have been soft and pliable. And so I was in the process of making that one. My camera went beep. I'm like, low battery again. I'm lucky to get 2 videos out of this Nikon camera, and I'm impressed by the video quality, not impressed by the battery life. You know, sometimes I think, wouldn't it be nice to have a camera that you just wind up? You don't have to charge. So I made one the same length as that. What we'll do is we'll take this out. Like that. And I'm going to round the corners a bit. That's what the original is like, rounded corners. Here. It doesn't even have to be perfectly rounded. This is going to look a lot better than what's there. And of course it gets rolled over and punched through. Let's just make sure we got, that lead should go back there. So there's only one that's broken. We can easily fix that. Put a piece of tubing over it. Now what we got to do is punch through this one to start. I got this table. It actually originally came from a university sale. They're getting rid of these tables and buying crappier ones, you know. This table has a steel frame and this top with an indestructible finish from the 70s. Great table. This is actually my grandpa's punch or scratch all over, whatever you want to call it, from his toolbox that he would have used years ago. So there we go, we have it punched. Zip the screw through on one side. What we gotta do is bring it around on here. Push the screw through. This material, and I'll show you in a minute what it actually is. It can be a bit hard to get that through. This stuff is tough. I bought it when I was building model airplanes. You know, the alcohol fuel ones. Yeah. And it's actually windshield material. But it's clear polyester, 0.020 by 7.6 by 11. Just so you know the size. It was $3.75 like 20 years ago. What is it now? That hobby shop was a bit of a rip. They had the stuff. I had enough left over. I've done this a few times. Getting the screw through is a little tough. There it is. Then you can flex it open. Get over the hand there. That's nice and tight. Then we run the screw in. Line it up a bit better. I'm just going to turn it a hair. There we go, like that. We have enough slack. I think that originally actually came over like that. Yeah. Okay, so like that. Okay. Tighten it up. I actually forgot to take the film off that. There's a protective film so that after you put it on your airplane and everything, you can pull it off and go, ooh, the glass is so clean on that plane. Boy, I have some stories about flying radio controlled and in the really early days, line control. Oh my gosh. All I can say is crash, boom, bam. You build this beautiful plane, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you crash it on its first flight. Talk about heartbreak. You wait for the perfect day. Sometimes you build it over the winter. Oh my. But it was fun. But you see what I'm up to here. That is actually, it would have looked quite a bit like that. Nice and straight. Like that. And it will actually come back to shape and hold that in really nicely. There's a couple little loose edges I'll get off there, but that is how you do it. So you've actually, and then solder that together, put a little bit of a sleeve on it. You actually accomplished one thing towards the final goal of having a great tuner. So I'm going to put this one on the sidelines like a couple other units. I don't like having to wait for parts for units. I like when I have everything and can roll along, but that's the way it goes sometimes. In the time that you're waiting for parts, you can do cleaning. If you look at this chassis, I don't even think this one's going to need much polishing or anything. See, yeah, it's not really corroded very much. It's quite nice underneath. See the dirt though? That's from the 60s. Yeah, this will come up. I always use the wipes first because it's just coming off. Blow out the tuner. Yeah, but while I'm waiting for parts, I'll get a few things done on it, and then the other board has good coil, so either bring the coil into it. This one is a little flaky, it's been glued underneath. We'll see, we'll make at least one good board out of two, and then at the front it's missing one of the Heathkit decals. The other one has it. This will look pretty cool, and it will work pretty cool. I want to thank you for watching and listening. Have a good one.